Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Epic Disney Epic Mickey 2. Let's see, we were about to enter this whole area and I suspect we're going to potentially maybe get another cutscene. At the very least we'll get this loading cutscene, which doesn't really hide the loading. One thing I'm trying to figure out about this game, yes, in part since I'm playing a sequel to a game I didn't play the first two, there may be some elements here that were explained better and tutorialized better in the first game, and they just are assuming the kids would have would already know what to do. But then that's the question, certainly. Is this actually a kids game? Is there really even a target audience for this game? Because it's kind of too simplistic of a game with not that much level design that I've seen so far, and not really any enemies to fight. We fought maybe 4 or 5 in 3 hours. But then it's targeting some creepy robotic Five Nights at Freddy's visuals, which definitely seems out of place. And then it's targeting Oswald the Rabbit as an important character, almost like he would have actually been brought back in cartoons or something, which that overall just makes the whole game feel like it's actually for
inkwell full of invisible ink.
Like,
we should investigate at once. If we paint in the tomb around an inkwell, it fills with invisible ink. Jumping into the invisible ink will make you invisible. Seems rather obvious when I say it out loud.
Why do I need to be invisible, though? That's the real question, I guess, to ask here.
The invisible ink is slippery, so if you move too fast or double jump, it will slide right off.
Okay, why do I need to be invisible?
The invisible ink is slippery, so if you move too fast or double jump, it will slide right off. Well, look at that. Jamface told me he used the eye in his new security system.
Interesting. Okay, so now we know why we need invisible ink. Every time I enter another one of these new areas, I guess I have to figure out what textures can be made invisible and what textures can't. And what the difference on that would matter. Okay, so that stopped the invisible ink from flowing. But the game didn't make me do that to start with. That seems weird. Weird in particular that these two top parts had to be filled in, and yet this bottom part where Oswald is standing in the way doesn't have to be filled in. Yeah. It feels like the target audience for this game very possibly is older, like old people. People in their 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s with nostalgia for Mickey Mouse. And people that have a weird fetish around the idea of creepy Five Nights at Freddy's visuals on top of that. Well, this one looks like it will blow up. But why wouldn't this one blow up also?
Yeah, I know how to do this.
On the other hand, why did this door disappear? Because it's light brown, I guess? But then green won't disappear, and blue won't disappear. And then we've got to just figure out what can break and what can't. Interesting. That could break. It almost feels to me like there are just spots in the game. Like, what boomerang action? We don't have a boomerang. Well, apparently we have a boomerang. The game never told me about. I assume I can't do anything with the water, so I would just be jumping on it. Does seem fairly arbitrary where some of this stuff is. It does seem like whether something is disappeared or not is almost randomized, although it couldn't possibly actually be randomized. It would have to be at most randomized once and then locked down after some game testing. And yeah, I get the idea that the world is supposed to be broken, but I don't think it's supposed to be that broken. So none of these crystals can be destroyed, but this can. So maybe if we destroy some of these walled sections. Well, that's one way to make a bridge. I was thinking I was supposed to hit these sections and that this would stop the stuff from flowing. So I can jump into this, but what is this?
Hard as a lobster shell, even thinner will slide off. Do be careful, however. The shell breaks apart as you move. If you're hit too many times, the shell will break apart. But at least it will give you time to catch your breath.
Okay. So I don't know if I missed something here. This is a proper 3D level, so I appreciate that.
Wait for me!
It looks like we're going to end up in some kind of Cinderella world, but I'm not sure if that's a Cinderella world full of regular Cinderella things, or if that's a Cinderella world full of robots. Whoops. Well, that feels like that's where I'm supposed to go. Although, this is going to be tough. I guess you just do it that way. There's Sleeping Beauty over there. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs over there. Not Cinderella. We still haven't gotten not to a point where it seems like.
Be right there.
Would that help me any? I don't think it would. I think there's probably another way up there. If I could get Oswald to jump on this platform.
Hey, knock it off, Mickey.
If I could get him to be on this platform too. If I could control him in some way. And then I could jump higher. I don't think any of that though. I really do think it probably is a case where I would just have to do this. And then there's nothing special about breaking that. And then run and then jump at the absolute peak. And I'm out of life, so I'm going to have to just ignore that in favor of going through this. Oh, so we move the two together and that opens the door. And so we have a now wall of different colored things happening.
It's the projector substation. You see those falls? They power the machine. Head to the overlook by the falls and see if you can find the problem.
And so this is Rainbow Falls, and we can see that there's a take a picture sign here.
What a perfect place to take a picture.
So that was pretty obvious.
It looks like the funnels that draw power from the falls aren't operating. See if you can use this device to get them running again.
So this may just be a simple mechanism, or there may be something a lot more to it. Let's see. I can't make the gears appear or disappear. So I assume what I'm supposed to do is probably this. But it seems like there's probably something more to it. Yeah. I can make those gears disappear. So I can push this here. And then just resolve that. Thinner it. Okay. And so I've connected something to something. So I guess this door is just a reference to Disneyland, with nothing else really playing a role there. Interesting. It's not a picture, even though what am I supposed to be doing with that? I don't know. We have this platform, which you can't get rid of, but you can thin the feet on. So maybe if I thin all four of the fans at the bottom, it would then just fall. Although that doesn't seem like that's the case. And there's just a face I can't quite place, so not sure what's going here. And that's toxic. So that might be Beauty and the Beast. Let's see what this does.
I'm all over it.
So each one is in your arm. They catches some
what
of
you
it.
doing up there?
We could ask you the same question, Small Pete.
Me? Well, see, I was working in here before the quake hit, and then the projectors went down. I've been trying to get them fixed ever since. Once they're fixed, I could finally get out of here. So I'm sitting here trying to fix the machine, and you go and turn it on. Now, thanks to you guys, there's all sorts of problems. See those pipes? They all need to be taken care of. So get to it!
Okay, at least the game's doing us a favor there of showing us
The pipe behind the
what needs to
van
happen.
needs to be shut off. So figure out a way to get back there.
I think part of the problem with this idea is it
Mickey, you gotta get up high to fix that pipe.
is working on a really bad assumption that people would care about any of these old characters. Like, all of these characters were abandoned for a reason. They weren't popular originally.
Whatever you did out there, the substation sure don't like it. I could stabilize it, but stop playing around up there. Oh, yep. That pipe's running smooth as butter now.
Is that switch supposed to do something?
The leaking pipe is up on that alcove, so go fix it.
Can't spin that back that way.
Hey, you could use that van to hoist yourself up.
Getting too many tutorials, which again makes us feel like this is a game for little kids. But honestly, the platforming is a little too difficult to
Hey, Mickey.
think that this would play particularly well
that's
for
the
little
ticket.
kids.
Maybe you two can be helpful after all. Who'd have thunk it? See there, Pallies. The machine is ready, so let's get it going. Get on over to the center and start her up. Good show.
I'm not really
A bit
sure
of cloth.
what I'd want to
We
do
should
with
hang on
Mickey
to it
Mouse.
for
I'd
later.
probably just focus on Mickey Mouse as a character and nobody else. Maybe you have a mini, maybe you have Mickey Mouse save all of his friends. Maybe you try to play into the history, not this history of Oswald, but a history in general of Mickey Mouse. You try to play a little bit on nostalgia, but for the most part I would try to have him be close to Mario. Because that would be the thing that would make the most sense to me. Is that if Mickey Mouse was like Mario, then he would be in a bunch of like side quests. So it just slows down time. I don't know the real reason why you would want to slow down time, though. Unless you just, that was just there to help you. There's a booming sound effect, I assume, of the character Small Pete walking under here, but it is very distracting. Okay. We don't activate this a second time. So I see all the different colors being pumped into here, so now we can activate this. This wasn't even here, or wasn't open before. So we have a...
Oswald, I'm on your frequency. There's wonderful news coming now. Hurry to my lab in the gulch and I'll tell you. Wait, what is that sound?
Oh, it sounds like he's in trouble. How do we get to his lab from here?
Well, that there DEC should take you to Rainbow Caverns. From there, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump over to the gulch.
Thanks, Small Pete. Come on, fellas, let's go.
Sure, don't worry about nothing here. You heroes just leave the cleanup for us regular tunes.
Hey, wait up, Mickey.
Yeah, maybe that's just a pumping sound effect I'm hearing. I feel like the Mad Doctor has to.
Leads right to the devil's side of Rainbow Caverns. Would you like to visit?
Let's see. So that's the devil side. Can we go to the angel side? Nope, not yet.
This DEC leads right to the devil's side of Rainbow Caverns. Would you like to visit?
Yeah, I would think you'd want something like a Mario 64 evolution at this point for Mickey games compared to like Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World as far as Mario games. And that takes a lot of work, obviously. Weirdly, I would say this game is probably closest to be compared to Mario Sunshine, which is the least well received Mario game of recent history. But you would also want more sports games, more racing games, more things like that with Mickey in it. And in all fairness, there is a Disney Speedsters, I believe, is the name of the game, that has come out relatively recently. Unfortunately, Disney Speedsters really hasn't caught my attention much because it quite boringly has a bunch of Disney characters and DreamWorks characters and other kinds of characters that of other subsidiaries Disney owns, but those characters are in regular racing outfits instead of Mickey being in his standard Mickey outfit, or at least something visually interesting. Alright, so we know there's something up there. I guess it's just going to be a matter of how much am I willing to really try. You basically have to spin around or get on the back side of the shoe. This all feels fairly repetitive, and I would really have to just question how many DECs actually exist. If it is going to be this repetitive. I've kind of forgotten all about the idea of even collecting the currency. Let's actually check that. We were at exactly 500 and I thought that might be a maximum, but nope. Well, that was nowhere as difficult as it may have seemed like it would have been.
Hold on.
Question here is I have like 1 health and I really don't want to lose it, so kind of don't want to jump down. The game is not very balanced as far as refilling your health when you find other collectibles. So there is a whole other section here. We are, I guess, jumping on these things and trying to knock down all of the Donald Ducks in a, I suppose this is a duck shooting gallery. This might be a point where Oswald could prove to himself to be fairly useful to help. Got a couple left. Timing seems to be a little rough.
Hey, wait up, Mickey.
You gotta shoot it fairly quickly as soon as it shows up. But then there's kind of a little pause there. Seems like some may even move at different speeds, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. One left.
Hold on.
But is this going to give me a pin, or is this going to give me just a bunch of credits? Bunch of currency falling into place when honestly the currency should already be there, because the currency should be used as a way of showing the player where to go. Arguably, music should also be around as a way of telling the player that, hey, you're hearing something, so this is probably the right direction. This looks like that could be thin, but I guess it can't. And then there's this big skeleton here. Dinosaur skeleton. Which, yeah, that doesn't quite make sense. Let's see. We were to come down here and do this. That doesn't work. So this dwarf statue probably does imply the area we were in. Alright. it definitely doesn't feel like it would benefit you to be too thorough throughout these sections. There's some kind of obvious abilities that we don't have yet. I assume shooting us off. Well, that gave us more of those, so I'm wondering if I missed all the chests and I've just been reset to the last checkpoint. But if I had been reset to the last checkpoint, then why is the ball not here? It really feels like a mistake to have that right next to this musically. I swear I opened that. So I think I do have to fall down here. And look at some of this stuff now. We'll just go this far. And weirdly, that gave me a different denomination. Would there be a reason that you would want to
What do you think you're doing?
do that? It feels like the game is designed in such a way that you're very possibly supposed to. It doesn't really look like there's anything up there. And going up there doesn't really do anything for you. I took fall damage from falling.
Watch it.
And I'll die again if I'm not careful. Go ahead and fill in this, fill in this. Do I really need the currency that high? That much to waste the time sitting through this and letting it cycle multiple times through?
Hey, wait up, Mickey.
Does Oswald need to be talking at this point? Yeah. I guess it wasn't that much work, so. These DEC levels definitely are coming off though as kind of time wasty. Right, how am I supposed to reach way up there? I'm getting stuck on uneven terrain. Have a lot of these dancing peacocks. We must get some kind of fly in the air ability
Shall we go
later.
to Rainbow Caverns?
So yeah, it definitely feels like the move is to kind of rush through these, get as many collectibles as possible, hope that at some point you'll get an indicator to tell you how many collectibles are left in each section, if not a compass to tell you exactly where the collectibles are. Although a lot of these collectibles may not be that important either. It may just be a case that if you missed half of the available treasure chests,
The devil
nothing
and
would
Angel
really
Caverns,
change.
one of the first attractions built in Wasteland. Caverns themselves weren't built by Oswald, and we don't know how they were formed. They should lead us directly to Disney Gulch.
So the crystals seem to control the flow of certain liquids. I would assume that this is fire. Yep. And so we've got, it seems like a real puzzle here for the first time. Well, that felt a little weird.
All over it. Don't worry about it.
So yeah, I'm not sure if there's much more of a trick than that. Okay, it says now's the time to take a picture. And weirdly it wants me to take a picture of maybe these statue creatures?
That's an interesting picture of the angel. Adele should enjoy it, even if it is missing quite a bit of tooth.
So it looks like I can just walk on the top here. As long as I get flipped up. It seems to me like the game just tries to land you on it. Helps you a little bit. But I don't understand why I don't have like regenerating health. Or I also don't understand why the game isn't more complicated if this is supposed to be for more experienced players.
Hey, wait up, Mickey.
I'm just gonna walk fairly slowly. I'm not sure what the invisible ink would have been all about. You kind of have to hop because these
The
don't
Mad Doctor
directly
built all
connect
these
these.
furnaces a long time ago to convert all this heat into energy for Wasteland.
See, I would have to fall down there and fight that guy. Get him to work with me. And honestly, I think you could probably just... You know what we haven't done? We haven't taken a picture of different enemies. So... There's one picture that we did. It does just seem like you can just drop down here. And that's that. I don't know if I was supposed to solve the maze in any other way or if it was just that simple. Now, feels like I could have had him stand on this point and then drop them into the lava. That's another way of defeating the guy. Alright. The controls here are very awkward. Like, if I pull, I'm pushing forward and I moved a little bit. And that seems like that's as far as I can go. If I pull backwards, now I have to push left. Weirdly, left worked. Okay. So will Oswald fling me back up? He doesn't seem like he wants to. But he maybe fling me back up over here. No. So maybe there's more of a puzzle to turn off these flame walls. Or there is definitely something way over there, but I can't hit it from this distance. We may just have to come back later. It definitely looks like a section you can make go invisible. This guy being your friend doesn't really mean much. Yeah, I just can't shoot through the flame walls. It is nice to potentially have games where you could try and befriend everybody, and Mickey is definitely a character, even more than Mario, that could promote that general positivity. But overall, I think we just are moving forward. We've completed another challenge. Let's see. Which one was it that we just got? Find your way through the rainbow caverns. See, that is weird that it's way there at the bottom. Though it would also be very weird if we were anywhere close to the end of the game. I could almost buy it. Interesting. I wanna... First of all, I want to jump over this, which really would highlight that the A button should do something different. That's something that the Wii was really bad about, is that it would have really only the A button activate everything, so it created way too simple of Right, whoops. Whoa. That's gonna cause a problem. So you have to kind of step behind her, target this, hit this, so it floats. Not sure I can really pull this off. Gonna have to just wait till the cooldown goes away. Maybe I can stand inside of this statue. Definitely feels like if you could upgrade your health, upgrade a bunch of other stuff. Well, that worked. I don't know what that really did.
Hold on!
I am assuming that there isn't any big secret where we have to actually play out some kind of music. I don't know what music you'd even really play there. Like, at some level, there almost certainly is some kind of music, Mickey Mouse song, but I wouldn't have a clue what it would sound like. There was that song that they always sung at the end of the Mickey Mouse Club, I guess. Yep, there was a brief time there in which Disney and the Disney Channel felt like it was doing some kind of amazing content, and it might have been worth paying the premium when it first was sold, but by the time a lot of people would have gotten the Disney Channel, or they stopped making the good content, really. Yeah. And certainly Disney Plus is a very different experience and very different content from the Mickey Mouse Club. Okay, I have no idea what this is doing. So let's just hover. I think the idea would have been to hover through all of that. These shoes making banging sounds. Perhaps not scary enough. Okay. Or at least not warning me enough. Again, all I really want to do here is make sure I'm collecting a decent amount of this stuff. I don't particularly care if I miss some of it.
Hey, wait up, Mickey!
Wow, we really went full circle there. just want to be a little bit thorough through these sections. And then I probably will wait until I have all the abilities and a much tighter understanding of whether I even care or need to care about collecting everything. We're at like 24 pins now, which I guess there are specific classes of pins. So, interesting. Didn't realize you could make the balloons go invisible. Whoops. Usually when you jump, they will just magically float you along.
I'm back and better than ever.
And that killed me. And in that case, I just want to rush through this whole section. Some things reset when you die, some things don't. It's a little inconsistent. It definitely feels like there should be some music. Nope, don't go that way. Whoops. If I just stand here, it's not gonna pump me up, is it?
This one's mine.
Oh. Yeah, throughout the game, some basic music would be appreciated. So we can't get to this final part unless we get the orb that we knocked down this way. And I assume it just got destroyed in the acid, or it's sitting in the acid at the base. Which I think means so it's right, left, right, both. Right, left, both. Mickey yo-yos. This might be a great example of where making something visually look interesting really fails in video game design, because you end up having to reuse that visually interesting element too often. Yep. One yo-yo is interesting to look at too. Feels a little weird.
Should we enter the elevator to Disney Gulch?
And it is taking way too much time to just get from point A to point B. And when we get to point B,
Gosh,
it
what
is
this place?
not very big.
Well, after you beat the blot, the thinner seas went away and left all this junk behind.
You see it falling out of the sky every now and then. Some of it we can use, but most of it just sits here forgotten.
Okay, but
And weirdly, the game seems to have crashed. Alright, well, we're at an hour anyways, so I will end the episode there. This is something new, certainly, and I'll try and figure out what happened there. But in the middle of a cutscene, the game just crashed, and it doesn't seem like anything else has crashed. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. I really wish there was more action happening here. This is moving fairly slow. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, there's a link down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.